Gary, it seems like quite a while since we had a proper catch-up ahead of this week's game against Forest Green. I think in the last 2 weeks or so it's been a period of change at the club, hasn't it? Obviously Matt Jay's departure, which you've already spoken about, but Tim Dieng as well, who of course was a great character to have around.
Yeah, it was, and that's the January transfer window. There's going to be changes at the football club. We wish the players well. They chose to, take up new opportunities at a different club, and like I say, we hope that goes well for them. But we have to focus on ourselves, what's in the building, and recruitment team, myself, are all working really hard to bring in new faces to support and help the players that are already here.
Of course, you've brought in one, Joe White, and also Josh Coley's returned from his loan at Harrogate. That's another great addition to have back in contention.
Yeah, Joe is someone I've known from Newcastle, worked with him, and I always feel more confident when I've worked with a player. I know his personality, I know his character. I think probably more importantly, he knows me, and he's willing to come and work with me again, which is a good sign. But a boy of real talent and quality in the final third, and I'm looking forward to seeing him in red and white, and having Josh back as well, another dynamic player in the final third that we felt we had to call back, losing two forward players or forward thinking players. We felt we had to call Josh back and bring him back into the fold.
Of course, Josh was away when you took this job, so you probably haven't had the opportunity to look at him too much, but also he's got, come into a new manager for him and will be eager to impress.
Yeah, I've watched some of his games at Harrogate, and he's done well in some games and had a few injuries as well, so he's actually injured at the moment for hopefully a week or two max, but once he gets over that, he'll come back in with the group, and I think he gives us something different. He's a dynamic player in the final third that wants to take people on, and he's a player that we don't really have that profile, so it would be good to have him back when he's back from his injury to full fitness.
And you announced 3 more members of your backroom team earlier this week, and a physio starting very soon as well, I understand.
Yes, the backroom team has been in place for a while, but we felt it was important when they came down. This was the first time they've all been together at the Cliff Hill training ground, so it was important to kind of announce that and show the work that they're doing behind the scenes. It's a new way of working. I think from COVID, the way the world works with Zooms and different technology, we felt like we could have a remote team, an experienced team that supports the day-to-day staff at the training ground. And as people I know well, people who I trust, with a vast experience of football, a vast knowledge of contacts within the game, that is going to be a huge help to us in the transfer window and moving forward, and how we want to work as a team on a daily basis. They're a huge support to us.
On to this weekend's matters then. 3 weeks, Boxing Day was our last home game. And we face a Forest Green side who, I think they've struggled a little bit to adapt to life in League One, but as we've spoken about before when we've played teams in that part of the table, that doesn't really mean anything, does it?
It doesn't, no. We found, how difficult it was at Morecambe when we went there. We couldn't break them down second half after giving them a sloppy goal in the first half, and we have to be at our very best if we want to win these games. So I think the league has shown that even the teams up the top, there's not a great deal of difference between top to bottom, and we have to be focused on ourselves, play with the same intent we played with over the Christmas period, and go out to try and win the game. But we know it's going to be a very difficult one.
And naturally, given their league position, they were keen to strengthen. I think they've made 5 or 6 signings already in January. So from their perspective, there's 5 or 6 players there that are going to really want to hit the ground running.
Yeah, there is. They're spending money. They're in a position they don't want to be in. They want to stay in the league, so they've spent money and done it early and tried to change the squad. But that brings challenges in itself, trying to integrate new players to the team. So we are not sure what they will play or what personnel they will play. But like I said before, the main focus is on what we do, how we approach the game, and if we're right, then I'm sure we can go and win the game.
And I know you say you always expect the same thing from your players regardless of the opponent. We must view this thinking we've had 2 wins in a row, 3 wins in a row in our first season back in this level would be absolutely superb.
It would be, yeah, to win back-to-back away games was an incredible achievement, and with the squad that we had, the energy levels they needed for every game, playing games in such a short period of time over the Christmas period, I thought the players were outstanding. But as I said to them this week, I've gave them some time off, that we need to recover and be ready to attack the second half of the season. But it's not resting on our laurels. It's now attacking the second half of the season and using the momentum that we've gained over Christmas to build into this the start of the new year, and it's important we do that.
This will be our third match against Forest Green this season, and there've been 3 different men in charge in the dugout for all 3 games. I imagine you'll be racking Kev's brains certainly from the previous match that he took charge of against him.
Yeah, I think we can look at that and we can take things from that, but with the personnel that they've signed and the changes, there might be changes, so the main focus is on how we want to play and improvements we want to make within our game. I think it's important when we lose, we look at the process and we look at how we perform and how we can be better, and it's the same when we win, so we don't look at the victory and think everything is right. We still have areas of the team and parts of our game that can be much, much better, so we have to try and be better in those areas even after we win a game. It's not like we just think everything we're doing is right when we win. We have to still be better in many areas, and we've worked on that this week.
And finally, a word on the support again. The last 2 games on the road were absolutely incredible numbers, but yet again we're edging towards a home sellout. Perhaps understandable when you face teams such as Sheffield Wednesday and Portsmouth, but a fixture in previous seasons against Forest Green perhaps would not always see this demand. It just shows what you're building and how well the team have been playing lately.
Yeah, it does. I think it's incredible that we've sold out again, and the away support we've had. The Bristol Rovers was, I don't know how they got through that game, to be honest, but they were still there at the end and singing, and brilliant to have those moments with the supporters and connect with the supporters in that way, and to see them at SGP again. I've had 12 games and only 4 games at SGP. I don't know, how the fixtures. I know the 2 cup games, but to have 6 away games and 4 at home in the league has shown how difficult a run we've been on. But it's always nice to get back to SGP and see the crowd and see a full house getting behind the team.
I'm not sure how any of us got through that Bristol Rovers game, and I'm sure you'll be forgiven if we had a nice routine, boring 1-0. Finally, on Boxing Day we had that game for motor neurone disease charities, and you and your backroom staff are going to do your bit and add a little bit more to the pot by running the Exeter half marathon, I understand. How's that going, the training for that one?
I'm regretting it. It was my idea, because when I bring it up everyone said it was your idea, but it's been good. I think, look, it's a fantastic cause that we're doing it for, and it's good for us really as a staff, the camaraderie, the training together. We've got a little WhatsApp group. We were putting our runs on last night. There's a few really quick runs and then there's a few really slow ones, so I think it's important we all kind of get through that together and help each other through that, but I think it's a fantastic cause that we're doing it for, and hopefully we can raise a lot of money.
And you're saying that Perks has got a bit of pace?
Perks is incredible, yeah. He still runs like he did when he played, to be honest, and we were planning on doing dry January. He lasted 5 days, so he's still actually, he's in training but still drinking alcohol, but I've went 12 days so far, so and I got to 8k last night, so I've got a bit to go, but like I said, it's good when you're doing it for a cause. I think for me personally, to just do something like that for no reason, I find extremely difficult, but when you know you're doing it for something and try to raise money for charity, then it makes the toil of training worthwhile.